Lisimba.
And I'm Sophie Hannah, and I want to welcome you to episode 40 of Ethnically Speaking, the show where we discuss everything affecting the UK's highly melanated communities, from current affairs to pop culture and everything in between. Unfortunately, the wonderful Anissa will not be joining us over the next few episodes as she's recovering from a foot injury, so we wish her well. But instead, we have this handsome man sitting right next to me, the infamous Jonathan, aka my husband. Welcome to the show, Jonathan.
Thank you so much. It's really good to be here.
And for the people who don't know you, what can you tell us about yourself?
So during my days, I work as a pastor or a vicar. I'm currently studying for my doctorate. And if I wasn't doing that as a day job, I would probably be a chef or maybe a musician.
Okay, that's really great to know, babe. And if one guest wasn't enough for us over the next few episodes, we also have our special guest, executive producer, Lisimba Pink, joining us again. Welcome back, Lisimba.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
Okay, so can't wait to talk with you guys, and we always keep it 100. And today we're going to be talking about the rise of the man weave. So, male grooming has been on the up over the last few decades, with moisturizers, hair products and makeup all being targeted at men, encouraging them to look the very best with their appearance. Now, in the Black community specifically, we have seen the increase of the man weave, which is a hair unit that covers baldness, providing men with a realistic substitute for the hair that they once had. I want to know, would you ever, or would you encourage your partner to get a man weave? And with men's medicine cabinets and beauty cabinets getting just as fully stocked as women, are we seeing metrosexuality go too far, or is it just a necessary break from prescribed gender roles?
So, I'm going to start with a disclaimer by saying that you do you and whatever makes you happy. That's the first thing.
That's like your favourite line, Lisimba. That's your favourite line when you're on the show?
It's always dangerous when people start with disclaimers.
But also, I'm also going to go with a little story as well. A very good friend of mine. I'm not going to use any names, so it should be fine. A very good friend of mine has his hairline's actually receding. And we had a conversation perhaps maybe a month ago, and he said to me that he's been thinking about getting like this, like the man weave, kind of like, you know, where they kind of put the glue on and then they stick the whole weave on and then they give you the whole trim around it and stuff. And I paused for a second because I realized that like my attitude or the way I think about it has kind of changed. Because had he told me he's doing this, let's say 5 years ago, 7 years ago, I would have laughed at the guy on the phone. I'll just be honest. I would have been like, what are you doing? Like, dudes don't do that, right? But I think like my perspectives kind of changed to the point where it was like, why not? I've seen some of these like Instagram videos where there was some guy. He must have looked like he was like pushing like late 40s. He looked tired. He just looked like he was finished, right? But he got this trim. He got the whole, you know, thing done. He got the weave put on. He got the glue put on, and they trimmed it up nice, gave him a little shape up. The guy looked fresh. Like the guy looked young. The guy looked like he was ready. And I was just thinking, rah, like if that is what you need as a guy to like give you that confidence, like nobody should tell you otherwise. Now the thing is though, obviously if you're trying to attract the opposite sex, it's just you just have to hope that they or any woman that you likes the weave as well, you know, or I don't know, maybe you should keep it a secret. I don't know.
So I want to jump in here because I feel like everyone's going to take what I'm about to say because Lisimba, you just went through it. So firstly, I think what I would want to say, these things are impressive. Like seriously, like I did go through a phase, I'm gonna have to admit, where I was just watching these videos of seeing people having it put on, seeing them do the glue and everything. And when you see the finish, like when it first goes on, you're like, no, this is not gonna make sense. It just looks like they've stuck something on someone's head. By the time they've shaped it up and done everything, you're like, no, that actually looks like that could be your hair. So firstly, I would just say they are so impressive. I think the second thing I want to say though is really and truly, like, if it makes you comfortable, it's important. So I was looking at something which was talking about this young boy who actually had alopecia, and the barber who was doing it was saying like the first time he got his kind of man weave on, he was crying, and then the barber started crying just because everyone was so happy. So like, I think his mom had to take him out of school because he was getting bullied because of the alopecia. And then having this man we've done just changed the game for him. So I think in that sense, it is so important if for people like they are not comfortable without it, and it helps to build their self-confidence. So yeah, those are the two things I'd really kick off with.
I feel like I'm missing having some women on this show because I just feel like this unity among the men. I ain't really feeling it. I think for me, when I first saw about man weaves, I'm like, Lisimba, you do what is best. But for me and my household, no, thank you. I don't want no man with no man weave. I just feel like I always associate weaves and like fake hair or, you know, no fake dreadlocks or whatever with women. And I think thinking about it on men, it just felt like maybe you just need to accept that you're balding. Like maybe you just need to just let it go and just accept that it's not for you. But then when I started to look at it a bit more, I did start to think, okay, if someone's a cancer patient, if someone has alopecia, as you said, is it fair to just be like, well, just accept that? Because that is not really a natural circumstance going on. But I guess, and I want to ask you guys, like, how traumatizing is it to be losing your hair or whatever? Because I love men with hair, as you can tell. Like, yes. I'm in love with my husband's hair. It's his. It's all his. We promise you. Like, I love his hair. I love his beard. I love all of it. So is it traumatizing for a man to lose his hair, like, when he's young? Because it feels like it's happening more and more often.
Shall I go? Or you want to go?
Yeah, go for it, Lisimba.
I think it's very traumatizing for a guy to lose his hair. I think obviously the earlier it happens, the more time you have to get used to it. But even when you do get used to it, I don't think the thing about having a bald head, you have to have the head that looks good bald, right? Because if you don't, then you're kind of stuck with it, and there's kind of no way out. And I kind of think that for guys, you're almost just told to just like, you know, have thick skin, just get on with it. Like, so what, you're losing your hair, like just man up. But it's not always that simple. Like, it's kind of like that's your hair is your strength. I know there's a story, it escapes my mind what the story is, where the guy Samson, right?
Samson.
Yeah,
that's why I'm here.
So it's the thing where you lose your hair, you lose your strength, you lose your vavavoom. You're just like, you kind of need your hair. Like, I can completely understand that.
So what I would jump on, because I think my wife was pushing a double standard, because as you were talking to Simba, she was laughing. So on the one hand, she wants to say, but you know what, weaves and that kind of stuff aren't really for men unless you're kind of got alopecia or a cancer patient or something like that. But she will tell me from day one, I do not have the head to be bald. So I think if it did end up that I lost my hair, like, I think she would be 100% fit for the man weave. Like, I think at first she'd be like, nah, I'm not really sure about it. But if it looked good, then she would be 100% on it. Now, I guess kind of to move it on a little bit.
I need to respond to that one because I feel like you're taking our inside business outside. It's true.
Have a double standard.
It's true. I don't think he has the head to be bald. I'm not gonna lie. I said to him multiple times. I said you need to carry on with the hair. You need to use the castor oil if it's looking to thin, because you don't have the head for it.
Keep my stress low.
Well, yeah, you gotta do. But I just want to say, I don't think it's just cancer and alopecia patients. I think when I saw that, it helped me to see a different side of it. But I just never realized, I never thought about it, because women, we get badgered about our confidence, the way that we look. This whole beauty industry is really to make us feel you're not enough, and this is a way that you can be enough. So with the man weave, I'm just kind of like, oh, suck it up. But I had to realize that's actually me subscribing to a gender role, that men are strong and they can deal with things and they should just get on with things and they're not emotional. Whereas actually, maybe it is really emotional for them and really affects them and their confidence not to have their hair. So I've realized that I actually have to kind of change my perspective a bit.
Yeah, and I think as well, just to move it on, like, I agree, you changing your perspective is always,
be quiet.
Always important. But to move it on, like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but all the man weaves I've seen are like when it's fresh. So when it's finished and when you're in the barbershop and it's done. I really want to know what a man weave looks like 2 weeks in. Like when you've not just come out of the barber. Because like if it degrades like other fake hair pieces or something, like it could look rough. Like you could look like it's obvious something is going on with your hair which isn't natural. and shouldn't be happening. So that I think is what I'd be really interested in, not just seeing it when they've first done it, but seeing it maybe after a couple of weeks.
I think you have to see it as an investment, though. Like, I'll let you speak to this, but I think you have to see it as an investment, because the guys who are getting this done, it's not a flash in the pan. It's like any woman who gets a weave knows you don't just get a weave and then you just leave it. You have to buy the products, you have to buy the maintenance. And I think with the man weave, if you're going to get it, you have to put in the time and the effort to keep it looking brand new. You don't want it to look like some dodgy toupee like Donald Trump's hair.
Yeah, but the guys have the stamina, I guess, for that, because that, like,
it depends how much you want hair, babe. It depends how much you want
that's my
hair.
thing. I think that's where I would struggle. So like, even growing my hair now, like after a while, I'm just like, this is long. This is a lot of effort.
You finally feel women's pain, because I feel like for too long you're not understanding when I'm like, oh, I hate washing my hair. It's like an all-day event until I'm combing out your hair with the hair mayonnaise in. I'm doing the bantu knots at night, and you're like, oh, this is long. I'm just like, now you understand. Now you understand.
Yes, I understand, but let's just say the hair mayonnaise is the truth. Like, changed my life. But in terms of having to like deal with it on an everyday, it's a lot. And that's my thing, especially with this man weave. It's great when you finish in the barber, but I'm not sure if men really have the stamina to do what's necessary in the long run.
Well, before I answer that, I just want to also second the hair mayonnaise. I had like long hair many years ago, and that hair mayonnaise does work wonders.
It is serious.
These are the days with like Cane Row, where like B2K, R. Kelly, everybody was doing the Cane Row. Those was way back when. But I think in terms of like, do guys have the patience, I guess, or the stamina for looking after their hair and things like that? I think the whoever is doing the man weave for, I don't know how much it costs, right? But if you're going that far to look after your hair and do those kinds of things, I kind of feel that you will make sure you take care of it properly, because not necessarily 9 times out of 10, but 6-7 times out of 10, you may not want to tell nobody that you're in a man weave, right? And I'm guessing here, I don't know, but I'm assuming that it should stay in place, right? Because the only reason why I see it coming out of place is that if you had hair growing under, pushing it out. But if there's no hair growing under there's nothing pushing it out. It's going to be stuck to your head for a while. We already seen what happened to Gorilla Glue Girl, with that glue, with the glue stuck to her head. It was on there for a while. She had to get all sorts to wash it out. So I don't know what they used to stick it on your head, but nevertheless, I think that like anybody who's that way inclined, they are metrosexual. They're going to be looking after themselves that way. Potentially, no, maybe not. I was about to say potentially they wear eyeliner, those kinds of things. That's the next category. But I feel that again, look, if that's what floats your boat, then so be it. But I think this raises a different question as well, which I think is interesting. So, Sophie, I guess your first reaction to like guys with the man weave was always like, oh no, but I think it's important for guys as well to realize, not everybody, if you do get the man weave, right, you have to accept that, yes, I'm going down the metrosexual line, but also as well, there's going to be vast amount of women that are going to perceive you to be less masculine in doing so. And if you go down that road, just, I guess, be prepared for the consequence. I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with that, because you can't tell someone what to be attracted to. But I just think any guy that going down the road of, okay, I'm going to do the eyeliner, I'm going to do the skinny jeans and all these kind of things, just be prepared to be ruled out by a certain, pool of women.
You want to go?
I disagree, Lisimba. I have to say, I disagree with that, because I think with getting the man weave, from what you're saying, I feel like there feels like a little bit of conflation between that they must be metrosexual. I actually separate it out and just think it's men who feel a way about not having hair anymore. And I don't think they're borderline, like, I would probably say the high end of metrosexuality, in my opinion, like when you're going to be wearing concealer, eyeliner and all things like that. Because I think especially in the Black community, which is a bad thing a lot of the time, but we have a hyper masculine gendered role for men. Like there is hyper masculine of what is masculine, and there are a lot of things within black men that just aren't masculine. So in terms of stereotypically, I'm saying, not whether that's true or not, but I think for guys who have a man weave, it says that a lot of women are encouraging their boyfriends or their husbands to do it because they might feel away, or like you said, it can knock literally 20 years off of them. But I don't think it means that they're not going to be attracting certain women. But personally, I would have to see him with the man weave before we got together, and then he'd probably have to tell me when we were together. If he told me like straight up, or if I saw him one day bald and the next day he had a full head of hair, then I'd be like, I'm not going to go there because no, I'd be like, I'm not going to go there because I think I would definitely make some preconceptions and probably getting to know them, but like, actually, there isn't actually, you know, he's not super effeminate or anything. He's just someone who wanted to try something different with his hair.
Yeah, so I guess I find it interesting because I would say I don't think there is like the eyeliner and man weaves are next to each other. I think just seeing some of the guys who are getting these man weaves and getting this kind of stuff done, I think it's obvious that like without it, the hair is struggling. And no, well, that's the truth. And then with it, it's a game changer. Like Lisimba is not joking when he says it takes 20 years off. Like these, like some of these guys look middle aged, then they get the man weave, and they're young men, and that's gonna make a massive difference. So, and I think the other thing as well, kind of going on what Sophie said. Let's say I lost my hair and I just decided to get a man weave, and I met Sophie, and I decided I'm not gonna tell her I've got a man weave until we're like 6, 7, like. I don't think it's going to affect anything because if I keep it in that good condition, no, like whether a woman would say I'm attracted to someone or not attracted to someone who wears a man weave, like if I don't tell her and she don't know, I can have my man weave for as long as I like.
Do you know what? You can't get your man weave wet. So I'm going to get suspicious if every time you have a shower, you're wearing a shower cap, or we go away on holiday and you don't want to get in the water because you got like this phobia.
I'll work it out. I will tell you stories. Like people will like go to the lengths they need to go to get what they need to get done. So I don't know if it's metrosexual, like if it's that metrosexual. I think eyeliner and that kind of stuff is a different thing, but I think it can just be a confidence thing. And to go from no one looking at you to people beginning to look at you because you've got new hair, I think is a great thing.
So do you think that when you're with your partner and you've just met them, do you think you have a responsibility to let them know up front that you have a man weave? Or do you think it's acceptable to tell them down the line?
Down the line.
I think down the line as well. Like Lisimba, do you want to know everything about the hair on your woman's head when you go on your first date? Do you want to go into some detailed thing about how this part's Brazilian and this part's Peruvian? You don't want to hear that. She looks good. That's why you're on the date.
Yeah, no, I accept that and I agree with that. But so cool. We're talking about like hair at the moment, right? I think women have the capacity and the social freedom to I guess be more liberal to the fake things they have about their person, whether that's, you know, makeup, hair, you know, bras with certain padding, even, you know, but I don't even know what you call them, like but basically women have the social freedom to kind of get away with those kind of things, right? And it just makes me think, okay, cool, like if 6-7 months down the line I found out, oh, okay, like what was in her padded bra was fake, or what was in like she didn't really look like that in the morning, like when she took off her makeup. Those kind of, then I may have, you know, new question marks about, okay, cool, is this the person that I honestly met? And if a woman literally did the reverse of that, I don't feel like, okay, cool. What I'm basically trying to say is that if I met a woman today, I had a man weave, 6-7 months down the line, I didn't tell her, then I was like, you know, hey baby, you know, I need to get this changed, actually, I need to take this off, been thinking about getting the blonde one, want to do a bit of Dennis Rodman today. Would she be allowed to say, whoa, this is not the dude that I met? And I think I would have to be able to say, yeah, like I would have to understand that in a similar fashion if the reverse was true for all the other things that women may have different about her. yeah, I think there's the possibility of that. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree.
Yeah, no, I think 100%. Like, a woman has the right to like say no. This is not what I signed up for. I'm not like, and you can't take that away. But to go back, even with makeup and stuff, when you first meet a woman or go out on a date, like, we gotta be honest with ourselves and know that is her at her best. Like, she's on a date. Like, that's not how she wakes up in the morning, and that's okay. Like, but everyone wants to put their best. What?
I think you say that because what about if it was a drastic difference when they wake up in the morning? Because I've shown you some of those before and afters on Instagram, and I'm sure you've seen them in Simba when they're like before makeup afterwards, and you're like, is that her daughter? Like, who is that?
Mother.
Is that the same person? And I think that men, personally, the men that I have dated, they have liked a woman to be done up or whatever, but generally they don't want to be seen a complete stranger if, you know, they catch you in the morning.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I think men are wise enough to at least be able to like see that. And if I'm going on a date with somebody and I'm not seeing her without makeup ever, or when I do see her, she's heavily made up, then obviously that's going to kind of raise some suspicions in me in terms of what's going on here. Is it like, and that's something I would have to think about as well.
I think you're giving men a lot of props because I don't think men are sensible, and I don't think a lot of them do assume that a woman's going to look completely different if you catch her outside of the date. But that's just my opinion.
I feel like social media's changed the game. Like, now you've got all these videos and you can see them and it's like, oh, this is what's going on.
For me, my previous partners have not worn a lot of makeup. By I guess coincidence. I guess I'm not a big fan of makeup personally. I guess I like just the natural beauty. If you know. But with that said, you know, seeing those videos on like Instagram and YouTube, it's kind of been real scary. Like, you see literally two different people, like, and you see someone beforehand, and it's not, look, everybody's child, it's someone's child, right? Their beauty. Another way to put it is beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? So everybody's beautiful in their own way, but some before and after pictures are a bit scary, because afterwards they look literally magical, and it's just like to think that you need that to execute that. I understand why you're doing it, for the response that you may get from like guys, but at the same time it's just like, I don't know if I support the need for that to get that kind of reaction. I don't know if you need to do it unless you got some, I guess, some other motive.
Do you know what? I think it's just really tough out here in these streets. I think that's what it's come down to. Personally, that the pressure on women to look like people that social media is holding up. There is a new, I would say, craze for heavy makeup that, like, let's say Kim Kardashian, the makeup that she wears and contouring, they're saying, you know, it's been around for years. Like, drag queens used to make it. Drag queens used to wear this type of makeup in order to kind of make their features appear more effeminate for when they were doing shows and things like that. And now that type of makeup has hit the public domain as the natural way to wear your makeup. And I personally don't think it's for the better, because I see people wearing it and women wearing it younger and younger and younger, and then men accepting that that's the sort of way that women look now in the public eye. And I think it puts a lot of pressure on people. And I think it's the standard that we have more so than women actively wanting to do that. And I think it becomes all really conflated on itself. But I wanted to ask, while we're still on the topic of metrosexuality, like, if we're saying that like man weaves might be borderline, you know, getting high on the metrosexuality scale, what about other things? Because I would probably say there are things that Jonathan is into that I just have no interest in. Like, he's going to be the first one to get a massage. He loves to have his hair done. When he went to the hairdresser, he was like, it was so nice. They blow dried my hair out. Last night, no joke, he brought aloe vera to the bedroom. And I was just like, I'm just confused. What is going on? He was like, I saw this video about how it can really like replenish the skin. So I'm going to put it on at nighttime. So I was just like, my friend, what is going on here? So do you think in general that men are just taking much more interest in themselves and that's a good thing? Or do we think that Yeah, it's getting too much.
Sorry, go ahead, Jonathan. You go first.
No, you go first. It's cool.
I'm
still
all
thinking.
for it, Jonathan. So like, do your thing. You know,
I want Anissa back. Anissa.
I used to, I guess, pre all of this lockdown stuff that's going on, I used to get like massages every month, and yeah, it works wonders, like for getting out those knots. Like, a knot in my shoulder right now is causing me real grief, like so I'm here for massages. Like I said, I was doing the whole hair mayonnaise thing, like I had some spots the other day. I got the cleanser out, put the little cotton buds and like wiped it. It all what, like, you have to do what you have to do, right? And I think there's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. I think also as a guy as well, like somebody that demonstrates he can take care of himself may also demonstrate they can take care of his partner as well.
Yeah, so I guess what I was gonna say is, well, like, I agree in taking care of yourself. Thank you for outing me here, Sophie. But it's important. But I think a really big thing in this whole debate is, like, I think the extra pressure that social media has been placed on everybody. Because like 10, 15 years ago, there are not going to be pictures up, and you're not going to be scrolling through and seeing pictures of people. And like, even for guys, you look at other guys and you're like, man, that guy looks good. Like, he looks like he's well put together. I've got it in my game. Or there have even been times when I've seen pictures of myself on Sophie's social media and gone, man, I look a bit rough there. Like, I need to sort something out.
Don't say that.
But I think in terms of the comparisons of what you're seeing, I think it's an extra pressure on men. I think it's also put extra pressure on women, and that really has to be taken into account.
Guys, honestly, I could be talking about this topic with you guys on and on, but we have come to the end of today's show. So thank you for watching and listening to Ethnically Speaking, but help us to keep the conversation going. We want to know, would you want your partner to get a man weave? Let us know your answers down below in the comments. And if you want even more of us, be sure to subscribe to our email list to get extra ethnic delivered right to your inbox once a week. I want to say thank you to our amazing guests, Jonathan, my husband, and Lisimba Pink for joining us on today's show. If you want to see more of Jonathan, you can't really, because he's not on any social media. So as he said, you will need to log on to my social media at I am Sophie Hannah to see him. But you can catch up with Lisimba on Instagram and Twitter. His handle is at Lisimba Pink, one word, so you can see what he's doing when he's not on United Melanin Group and working with us. Now, if you want a summary of everything we've talked about today, head on over to the unitedmelaningroup.com/ES040. The link will be in the description. And if you've been watching us on YouTube, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single thing. We are going to be seeing you again on Monday when we're going to be talking about buy now, pay later firms and the debt that they're possibly getting people into. But until then, make sure you wear a mask, wash your hands, keep your distance, and stay safe.